Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Everything EPL, your one stop with the latest Premier League action. I'm your host, Mo, here with my brilliant co host, Kaeman. How are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good now that you call me brilliant. Man, I didn't know
Man.
you were coming with the flattery this early.
Uh, we have a lot to talk about this week, Kaeman. A lot of brilliant games, like
Oh man,
3
yeah.
2s and 4 2s and comebacks from 2-0 down.
Yeah. My
And this
predictions
is
continue to be spot on.
Oh yeah, and Man United being in crisis and
Oh
Tottenham in
man.
crisis. But what crisis? What crisis? Tottenham, I think they are above Man United in the stands right now. So
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
talking about Man United being the team that is going to challenge for top four, but not really, because it looks like it is going to be Tottenham. Maybe if Arsenal win today, they're going to be like 2 points behind. So there's a lot to talk about, Cayman. A lot changed, right? Like 7 weeks, now it's 8 after the international break, and now the stands are different now. Man United are dropping out of the top four after their loss to Leicester 4-2. Leicester now are picking up points. They play brilliant. Man United, we're talking about, is only the right man for the job again. There's a lot to talk about, right? There's a lot to talk
Yeah.
about.
First of all, I want to go off by saying that I think there were some horrible managerial decisions made by Ollie during that game. I think putting Scott McTominay on over Matic in the last 10 minutes or so was just horrible decision. You see that immediately gets them to lose a goal because McTominay is not as good as covering his man. Shout out to Leicester. I thought their defense looked good, but I think that also just shows the problem that they have with Cristiano Ronaldo, where he's not going to pressure their defense, especially a defense that has been continually making mistakes. But man, what a bunch of worldies out of that game. I mean, oh my god, Greenwood's goal, Rashford's goal, Tielemans' goal. It's a wild game. I mean, what did you think? Did you think Manchester United should have been able to hold on to that the tie, or at least the lead that they had at the beginning?
So it's very strange when you're Man United. They played really well the first half. That the goal came from a mistake from Harry Maguire, who,
Yeah.
again, I'm gonna say it. If Harry Maguire did not cost 70 million, he would not be criticized as much.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not the one that doesn't make mistakes. He makes a lot of mistakes, and he loses the ball often. And then people talk about him being able to carry the ball from the back. Yes, he does, but also I see a lot of mistakes. Like Iheanacho is pressuring him, just clear the ball. He didn't,
Yeah.
and what happened is an assist from Iheanacho. Tielemans, great goal. Like the
Yeah.
finish was absolutely brilliant, but the mistake shouldn't have happened. He had all the
Yeah.
time in the world.
Well, to be fair, it was a light pass, and he should have gone to the ball, and he just decides to stand still. Yeah, it's a problem.
He could have cleared it, but anyway. But again, Rashford, I like Rashford as a player. Rashford is a brilliant player. Maybe he's not the guy who's going to give you 20 plus goals, but he's going to contribute to the team. He adds a lot. Again, Jadon Sancho, a very disappointing game, to be honest. I don't know what is wrong, but the kid needs to get into the right frame of mind to be able to get into this squad. And I think is at this stage, Rashford should start, in my opinion, not Jadon Sancho.
Yeah,
Greenwood is an undroppable kid,
I agree.
right?
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo, as we said last week, that people go to watch Cristiano Ronaldo. There has to
Yeah.
be a way that you can fit Cristiano Ronaldo in the team.
Mhm.
Even though he doesn't press, he's going to give you the 20 plus goals this season, right?
Yeah.
But again, defensively, as you said, Matic was absolutely doing a great job in being the defensive
Yeah.
mid, even though he was slow, but it showed they needed that defensive midfielder. And then you take him off, and then now it's boom, wide open.
No, I mean immediately you see McTominay lose his man at the back post. He's not paying attention. They're able to put a cross in, and then they concede off of it, right?
Yes, absolutely. But to be honest, okay, let's talk about Oli. Is he like, should Man United panic?
I'm, someone who is usually on the receiving end of all the panic, being an Arsenal fan. I don't think Manchester United should necessarily panic here, but I do think there has been a decent stretch of time to which Ollie's been pretty average with what should be a remarkable team, right? And they've had problem areas in the middle of the field that just haven't been addressed. And I don't know if that's managerial or if that's, the actual ownership of Manchester United. Like they went out and they bought Sancho instead of getting a solid defensive midfielder. And to me, when you've got options like Rashford outside and Greenwood, it didn't seem to be a priority to me. So I think those type of decisions are poor. And if that's coming from Ollie, I think that shows signs that maybe they need to move on. But I don't think the performance is necessarily because they had a great away record, right? That just got broken. I mean, like phenomenal under Ollie, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the record that I think's problematic as much as maybe the signings and his inability to make tactical changes in the middle of the game almost. I don't know, but what do you think? I mean, do you think it's time for them to move on with Ollie? Do you think like what are the weaknesses that you think would cause that?
So I'm hearing some rumors about Antonio Conte coming to the team since he is the only top manager.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, the only thing that they should worry about, they're not going to win the league, right?
Yeah.
But if they drop out of top four, it's a disaster for a club that invested a lot in Cristiano's salary, in Jadon Sancho, Varane. This team's wage bill is so high to be out of the Champions League. And this is something that they need to think about. And Antonio Conte will guarantee you the Champions League. And even if he comes mid-season, he is a winner. He's not a long-term solution, but he will guarantee you a foundation like the thing that he built for Juventus, that they went ahead to win the league right after, for years and years after. And he broke that with Inter when he took over Inter. He won the league last year with Inter. He's a guy that puts winning mentality inside players' heads. And I don't think Solskjaer does this. I don't think, Thomas Tuchel, Guardiola, Klopp, these managers put this winning mentality in your head. Like you are a winner, you're a champion. Oli is like, I feel like they are playing with hope instead of playing like we will win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, like, your mention of Conte, I feel like him and Thomas Tuchel kind of like fall under the same category of like go in and allow a team to have success immediately. And the problem with Ollie is that he's not that, but he's also not really a philosophy coach either, if that makes sense. So He doesn't give you what Pep gives you. He doesn't give you what Potter gives you. So you're in this weird situation where he's got an okay record and he's a club legend. So that's what they're kind of riding on. But if you don't have a game plan going forward, I think it's hard for him to find any type of long-term success here.
So let me tell you the difference between someone who actually thinks, I think in my opinion, someone thinks a straightforward and someone thinks with emotions. Frank Lampard is a bigger legend for Chelsea than Solskjaer is a legend for Man United, right?
For sure.
But then it didn't work out for him. Abramovich sacked him right away and hired the guy that won them the Champions League. It's as simple as that. Chelsea were 10th, I think, when Lampard was fired.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to wait until Man United are 10th in the league to start taking action? Or do you want to work from now while they're still in the 6th, 7th position? They are still 5 points away from the top, 1 point away from the top 4, and work now. I know that they just renewed his contract, but I think the financial crisis, if they don't go to Champions League, it's going to be bigger than the payoff they're going to pay for him to go. This is just my opinion, and I think someone like Antonio Conte, you're going to ask for the players. They're going to tell him, hey, these are the players. Come, this is the big contract, short-term solution, make it work, and we'll go from there. And he's out of a job right now. So we have to move on from Man United, but in my opinion, having these results lately is not helping. And also, if they don't win in their next Champions League game, they might be out of the group stage and now going to Europa League. Now it's a bigger problem because they need Champions League money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, we'll talk about the. It's very strange to talk about Newcastle as the second, actually the first big thing in the league. Like the biggest news in the league for the last week was Newcastle takeover from the investment funds from the Saudis, right? But
Mhm.
now they started the game really well. The fans were behind the team, and everything was great. And then they're 1-0 up. And then, to be honest, hats off to Nuno, who actually they controlled the rest of the game. After
Yeah.
5 minutes, it was absolutely just full control
Mhm.
of everything, single aspect.
Yeah, I remember watching that game, and it's just the formation for Newcastle makes absolutely no sense, man. You've got someone like Joe Linton playing on an outside when he's just like very clearly nothing more, nothing less than a hold-up striker, right? And so you just put him in this situation where he can't do anything. They're all over the place. They're basically just relying on their wingers to try to do something. Like St. Maximin is literally just trying to be the entire attack, right? And then maybe you get someone to finish it off. But no, shout out to Tottenham. I think Nuno made some great changes for this game. I think taking off one of the attacking center mids that they would normally use and just having Ndombele be the creative outlet in the middle and letting Skip and Højbjerg play together in a double pivot just made them so much more sound and controlled and a lot less exposed. And I mean, some brilliant goals, man. Ndombele's goal was phenomenal. Kane, fantastic run, a cheeky little chip. So there's definitely some good stuff going on, but I mean, I'd be lying to you if I told you that Newcastle's the test, right? You can't really be saying that this team is phenomenal now because they beat Newcastle.
No, no, no. Newcastle. It was not a test, but it was a mental test for the Tottenham players. Can they hold their composure? Can they have
Yeah.
this mentality against all these fans that they were like from the first minute they were onto it?
Mm-hmm.
But I just have to say that Newcastle fans are asking for attacking football. They have Joe Linton, Callum Wilson, Alan Saint-Maximin, Joe Willock on the field, four clear attacking players. But for some reason, and this is now comes to Steve Bruce, who I respect the man, right? Thousands game, and it
Yeah.
was, yes, a legend and everything, but it didn't look like nobody knew where to be on the field.
Yeah.
Callum Wilson exchanging with Sam Maximan, Joe Linton being left wing, but he's not actually left wing, as you said.
Yeah.
Nobody's defending. Ndombele had all the time in the world in the first goal to score, to curl that ball, the beautiful one. Son had the space of like just to run the whole field. Lucas Moura coming from it looked like Steve Bruce did not know what to do and what was Tottenham's plan. And it looked like Tottenham. I thought after the first 5 minutes, that Tottenham are gonna win this game. When they scored, I thought this game can be 3-4, 5-1.
Yeah, I agree.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
There's one thing that people didn't mention, and Nuno did not make one sub. They played the whole game with the same 11.
To be fair, they did get 2 halftimes because of the
Yes, because of
incident.
and we wish that fan. Well, I didn't read the rest of the news, but I hope that it was very good from Regalon to stop the game, to tell the ref to stop the game, and it was really a good thing to do. And it was the right thing to do, to actually call off the game, like not call off, like call the players back to the dressing rooms and then go back. But yes, I see why he didn't have any subs. Oliver Skip next to Højbjerg actually makes that wall really well ahead of Romero, who was actually brilliant.
He was great. Yeah, he was great
today. He made a lot of difference in their defense.
He made Dyer look good, and that is a tough feat to accomplish.
Yes. Top of the league, Chelsea winning away to Brentford. That was a war. I'm gonna give you, because you texted me during, like, after the game, and he said Chelsea got away with, like, in the war here.
Murder,
like they won the war,
yeah.
right? Like, tell me about Brentford. This team is resilient, man, and it was not for Mendy, that game would have been different story.
Oh,
right?
man. No, I mean, Chelsea was pretty unconvincing here. I mean, they had a majority of possession, like 56%, right? But Chelsea should have a majority of possession, and that's like not that convincing. In terms of expected goals, Chelsea had 0.3 and Brentford had 1.5, right?
Wow.
Yeah, Brentford had 16 shots. Chelsea had 5, only 1 on target. Brentford had 5 on target. So, I mean, Brentford was dominant most of the game. I mean, Lukaku was a ghost out there. You couldn't find him. Him and Timo Werner are just not connecting in any way, shape, or form. Neither of them are dangerous. I mean, the only reason why they won was a moment of brilliance from Chilwell with just an incredible strike. I don't know if you were able to.
I did see the goal. I actually
Oh,
tweeted about the
man.
goal.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, I mean, and then you look at Mendy. Let me. I actually wrote down his save here. So he had 4 saves, 1 cross stop, and two passes completed over 40 yards. So I mean, like, he was just incredible. And like these saves, it wasn't like they were nonchalant saves. I mean, game-winning saves in the last 10 minutes, just
Oh yeah, absolutely.
absolutely phenomenal. I mean, like, Chelsea did not deserve to win this game, but they got away with it because their goalkeeper's fantastic. And I wanted to ask you, because there's been some debate about this. A lot of people have been a little bit upset that Mendy didn't get shouted out as a potential Ballon d'Or candidate. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts or opinions on that.
I don't think he is the reason why Chelsea won the Champions League last year, and he doesn't even, like, is he like playing for France, or he is playing for, I don't know, like, who is he playing for? But to be honest, I get that people are upset that he did not get, like, even in the top 10 of like the Ballon d'Or. But come on, he's not there yet. Like, yes, he get a couple of saves, good saves, but De Gea having a brilliant season, to be honest. I know when he talks about it. So I don't get these people, like, they want every player that makes good 5-6 games to be like Ballon d'Or. Like, there is a lot of factors to go to be in the Ballon d'Or talk here, like consistency, a whole season, and there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, and also, yes, it's just he's not there yet. But
for me,
he was brilliant. He was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, he was brilliant on the day. He's shown a lot of really good performances, a pretty good clean sheet record. But to me, if you're not the best player in your category for the year, it's kind of hard to make an argument for you as the Ballon d'Or winner. I mean, he's not better than Oblak. I wouldn't even say he's better than Donnarumma, right? So
I think Donnarumma's better. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're gonna be outraged about a goalkeeper not getting it, it can't be someone who might not even be the third best, right?
Like, people talk about Jorginho, since we're talking about Chelsea, and Jorginho last year won Champions League, won the Euros. He is one of the best midfielders in the world right now.
Probably the most accomplished for last year.
Exactly. So just put it this way, right? So it's okay to put him in the picture, but as you said, Donnarumma, who won the Euro, who actually won the player of the tournament as well, if Donnarumma is not going to be winning it. So I don't think Mendy should. But I want to ask you another question, Kaeman. Chelsea are top of the league, 1 point ahead of Liverpool, 2 ahead of ManCity, and they keep getting away with these wins. People say that these are the wins that define the league winner, and I disagree, because you will be found out at some point. Do you agree with that?
I think there's some truth to be said to where if your team could still win on the day that they're the worst team, that's a good sign, right? But if you're constantly having to get away with being the worst team, that's not the sign of someone who's going to win the league. Maybe it's someone who's going to very easily stay in the top 4, right? Yes. But for someone to win the league, I think you can't afford to be the worst team than Brentford, right? Even
as you said, you can't keep getting away with it and say we're grinding the wins. No, grinding the wins in 1 day out of 5 being bad, but they haven't been playing good for the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
It's kind of strange that like I was thinking that Lukaku is gonna, and I have to like say this, that I thought that Lukaku would actually be the guy that will take them to the next level, but it was Antonio Conte's effect now at Inter, and I keep mentioning Antonio Conte because Lukaku yesterday, Lukaku against Brentford 2 days ago. We're recording this on Monday morning. Lukaku was absolutely not there. He wasn't in the game. And
yeah, to one thing I want to say though, I think first of all, Chelsea did have a pretty light starting lineup. They were starting a lot of younger kids, especially in the back line with like Chalobah and a new player playing out left.
Sarr, yeah.
Sarr. So he's playing a lot of young people and giving them a chance, which, to their credit. But there was actually a comment around that the coach for Brentford was asked, if he felt good, with his domination, considering it was a lighter Chelsea squad, and he said, "I'm pretty sure Lukaku gets paid more than my entire starting 11."
Yeah, probably is.
So hats off to Brentford in that way. But I think Lukaku is a great striker, but I think trying to push this weird partnership between him and Timo Werner that's clearly not working is just not the solution, especially when it's been shown that if you put him next to Havertz, there's some success there, right?
Yes.
Like they have a much better record. So I think this is more of just a tactical problem. And I don't know if it's coming from Tuchel or if it's coming from ownership, because there was so much push last year to have Timo Werner in that starting squad, even when he was playing poorly as well. So I think that's been their biggest problem creatively lately, more than just Lukaku being poor. But that's my opinion. I mean, what do you think?
I think Lukaku is going to succeed eventually, but I don't think it's going to happen. Like, it looks like there is not enough creativity and they are not actually playing off him. Lukaku is a guy that needs the ball all the time at his feet, and they're not doing that with him. So they have to figure out how to use him, which is something that I think Thomas Tuchel has not figured it out yet. But again, Chelsea, I still think they're going to be there, and they're about at the end of the season. They're going to be challenging for the title. But based on the performances I've seen in the last month or so, I don't think they're going to win it, because moving to the team that is absolutely brilliant, Liverpool against Watford, Ranieri's first game, they got hammered.
Oh, man.
And another...
You think he gets sacked
another
already?
world-class goal, right? Like Salah, just come on.
Yeah. And it's cool to see Firmino get a hat trick. He's been pretty dry for the past, couple months. So
yeah, it's gonna help them. It's gonna help them. But to be honest, I did not feel that Liverpool would away at all. Like, they played like they were playing home.
Yeah,
it was brilliant, and they played amazing from the first to the last minute. Watford did not have a kick in this game.
Yeah,
it was pretty obvious that there's no match, and Ranieri, the 4-4-2 thing didn't work.
They were so bad. Watford was so bad today.
They Sarr did not get a kick.
Yeah.
They did not even they actually 20 minutes they did not get the ball in Liverpool's half. It was very strange that Ranieri kept the same thing and then it was. I know that Liverpool are brilliant, but also you have fast players like Emmanuel Dennis, Sarr. These are fast players, but anyway, I know Ranieri is his first game. I think they play Everton next game, and it's going to be tough for them. But we got to talk about Liverpool a little bit. Firmino getting the hat trick, I think it helps with confidence, and it helps to have the extra option other than Diego Jota. And Salah, he has to be the best in the world right now. Like, there is no question about that. It's ridiculous what he's doing. This is different level. Like, you do this against City, and then you do this against Watford. He's now, people talk like he's gonna drop. He's at the top of his game, I think. If they stay healthy, him, Mane, Firmino gets back to the level that he used to play 3 years ago, and Diego Jota, I think this team is onto something.
I think it's interesting to me now that a lot of people are like talking about, Salah being amazing. Like, oh my God, Salah's amazing now. But he's been consistently the best player for Liverpool, one of the best strikers in the league in the Premier League for the past 3 or 4 years, right? Like with almost zero drop off, he's getting 20, if not more, goals per season consistently. Like, the numbers kind of speak for itself, especially as someone who's playing on the wing. Me and my buddies always joke that we have a friend who's a Liverpool fan, and we always tell him that he's a striker, not a winger, right? But I mean, you can't argue with what this guy's doing. I mean, he's been just incredible for Liverpool. Just has been.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question that this is the best team in the league by far. Like,
really, you think they're better than Chelsea?
I think they're better.
You think
I think in their day they're better than City. I think they are more direct than Manchester City. I think City are more of. I think Manchester City are more balanced team than Liverpool because they have the bench, they have a deeper squad.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you compare 11 versus 11, I think Liverpool would win. Like, just if you have the best starting 11, I think no one at City is as good as Salah. I think Mane as well. Talk about Grealish, talk about Mahrez, talk about Bernardo Silva. I think there is nobody that's better than these two in the City. And I think Diaz is good, great, but Van Dijk's leadership is absolutely, it's a different level, right? Like Van Dijk is different level.
Oh, do you think Van Dijk, would you say Van Dijk's probably the better center back to
Absolutely. In my opinion, yes. Not only because of the abilities. You can see the effect, right? Like you can see when Van Dijk was away, how Liverpool defense is just was shattered. It's all about the leadership that Van Dijk provides, like the talking, the game management. He's talking to other players. He's making other players look better. And this is something that not every center back in the world can do that for you. You know, like somebody that will lead. Like Thiago Silva has this leadership thing. And it's something comes with experience. Diaz is brilliant and everything. I think he was the best center back in the league last year just because Van Dijk was injured. He's the second best center back that you can get in the Premier League. But I think Van Dijk is different level in my opinion.
I do want to push back a little bit that Liverpool's problems was only because Van Dijk was injured, because they had so many. I mean, Matip was also injured, Joe Gomez was injured. So it was like a cascading effects of why their defense was in shambles, right? I mean, when you got two holding midfielders starting as your two center backs, you're in trouble. But yeah, no, I mean, I think Virgil van Dijk is fantastic. I mean, you can see the leadership quality, the pace he has, his ability to hit a left-footed long ball 70 yards. You know, these are things that not everyone's doing. I think Diaz is the only other center back who can really kind of do the exact same thing with the same defensive qualities. It's tough. I see your argument for saying that Virgil's better, but I'm just not sure. I mean, I think it still might be Diaz on the day. I believe Man City is a better team than Liverpool, but I do think Liverpool is Man City's kryptonite. If that makes sense. I think if anyone, Man City, if they do struggle, it's because somebody breaks them in the high press, and I think Liverpool's the only team in the league that can do it.
Yeah. So talking about City, it was a straight win against Burnley. The highlight of the game is Bernardo Silva. This guy is in a phenomenal form, ridiculously amazing. Like that is. We talk about Salah because Salah, like, he scores his worthies and stuff like this, but Bernardo Silva's form is a game-winning form. You're like, he can win you the game by a couple of dribbles, passes, and stuff like this. Burnley. So Man City are as you said, they are, in my opinion, the most like consistent team in terms of they come to the game. It's the same plan over and over again. They just execute the plan and they do it. And it's something that is not a lot of teams can do that. And it doesn't matter if John Stones, Nathan Ake, who plays in the back, who plays in the midfield. It's a plan that gets executed. And this is credit to Guardiola, right? Like, this is something that you need a squad to work for you. And also you need to make sure that the squad can be exchanged. And this is something that Guardiola does.
I think the funniest thing about Bernardo Silva's form is just how many links there were about him potentially leaving the club or getting outed. You know what I mean? Like, and moving on. He's been consistently City's best player this entire season, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's indispensable at this time. Like, I think you'd be crazy to not give this man another contract. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty straight win. City was the better team. None of Burnley's Air Force shenanigans worked on them. So,
but Burnley tried. Burnley tried to play, but
yeah,
after City scored their first goal, Burnley tried to play, but it showed the difference in the quality of the players. It was very apparent on the field, to be honest. And this is something that it needed a better tactics, because I think Burnley came to the game thinking that we will be able to defend, but they weren't. The goal came early. It was just like they scored early, and then at that point it was just okay, we need to come out, and they came out, and then the game was easy for City at that point. Like this is the easier game because they're up and the team is trying to attack them, but they can hold the ball, and they did. The possession game was easy for City at that point. What was your best game this week?
I mean, it had to be ASTONVILLA Wolves, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was honestly. I have to give a little bit of a shout to the Manchester game. That was pretty phenomenal, full of worldies. But oh my god, the ASTONVILLA Wolves game. I mean, a goal scored in extra time off a deflection. Wolves going crazy. A 3-goal comeback. You can't make that up, man.
No, you can't. Awesome. The thing is, I had that game on one of the screens, because I was watching the other games as well, and it was 0-0 the first half, and I was like, okay, this game is gonna be 1-0 probably, and then second half started, and innings from John McGinn, who's absolutely playing brilliantly. John McGinn, the clean strike that he had.
Yeah, I have to say, this season, every game I've seen him, John McGinn has been the best player on that field, even when other people are scoring worldies. I mean, the amount of work he does on all sides of the ball is just honestly second to none in the league. Like, I'm serious. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Minute 80, the comeback starts, 3 goals in 15 minutes, including extra time.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Scoring in the 95th minute.
I know.
To win the game. Bruno Neves, that deflection. The thing is, Aston Villa did not play bad. They were actually the better team on the field the whole game.
Yeah.
From the first half until minute 80, they were the better team.
Mm-hmm.
Wolves had no answer to any of, they had a couple of chances, but after 2-0, I thought this is they're going to close the game, right? But no. But again, both teams. But Wolves, to be honest, now they're picking up points.
Yeah. And honestly, imagine if Traore starts being able to actually score.
But actually assist. He for some reason, the guy doesn't get any assists, which is something very, very, very strange to me. All the work that he does, and then he can't get an assist or a goal. This is very, very strange, right? Like, it's just...
Yeah, his expected goal numbers are so much higher than his actual output. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but dribbling, like the guy...
Yeah. Unmatched in Europe in all top 5 leagues. No one's even close.
Wow.
He's got more successful dribbles than Mbappe has attempts. Right?
Whoa. I think so. I'm not sure about the statistics, but for this particular thing, but probably you're right.
I mean, leave it in the comments if I'm wrong, but that was
absolutely. You are right. He's ahead of Alan Saint-Maximin, and I think he's the best in the Premier League, and in terms of dribbles, successful dribbles. So yes. But to be honest, both teams are going to be fine. Both teams are going to be mid-table.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see Wolves picking up points, because it's they have a good squad, and they should be able to do better than when they started the season. But it is working for them.
Yeah, I think the beginning of the season for Wolves is just a little bit of growing pains. You got a new manager. You're moving from a counterattack style football to a more free flowing one. Yeah, you're gonna concede goals when you try to make those transitions, right? So for them to show that they're able to come back and start creating more and more chances using this type of formation, and this style of playing, this philosophy, it's a good sign. It is, and I think ASTONVILLA, like you're saying, they're showing great signs of life too. I think both these teams are going to be fine, but I'm just glad we got to see a worldie of a game because of it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so Goodison Park, Everton, West Ham. It was absolutely it was not as quiet as the score
Mm,
reflects,
mm,
but I thought that the best team won without like without a doubt. Like I
yeah.
thought that the best team on the day won, and it showed. It showed that how much Everton misses Richarlison, Calvert Lewin.
Alone, yeah.
They do miss these players, and yeah, playing counter attack is fine, but the expected goal for them was zero point 0.8. The expected goal for West Ham was 1.7. They had, I think, more shots on target, but again, Everton are going to be fine, but they need their players fit again, especially
Mhm.
the forwards, because Damari Gray doing okay, Townsend doing okay, but I think they need the other guys. Uh,
I
I want to ask you
honestly,
something at West Ham on. Go ahead.
I was gonna say honestly, if you get Townsend linking up with guys like Calvert Lewin and Richarlison, I mean that's a really scary attack prospect, right?
Yes. But again, I see Everton having an identity. They were playing counter-attacking football. They tried to create,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
is something that I didn't see last year under Ancelotti. But I think still Everton can challenge for top six if they get their guys back. I think they can do it. Uh, but
Yeah,
what I'm tipping for top six is West Ham. I think they're gonna do the same as last season. They're gonna be there. They're playing really, really well.
yeah, they are.
They execute plans really well. David Moyes is doing an amazing job with them,
Oh man, yeah,
and I think they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine, and they're gonna challenge for top six. And like this squad deserves to be there because they're actually doing really, really well.
hmm,
Um, a team another team to take off the list from the non-winning team, Southampton 1-0.
yeah,
The game could have been against Leeds. The game could have been 3-4. To be honest, the amount of
hmm,
chances
yeah, yeah,
Southampton had.
yeah. Redmond looked like Kevin De Bruyne out there. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
Like he was just a creative genius, which is you're not expecting from a guy like Redmond, you know?
What I liked about this game from Hassan Hotel is that Leeds did not have one shot on target. They had
Yeah.
one chance from a mistake,
Hmm.
but I think it's very sometimes it's very good to get both sides of the game right, the
Hmm.
defense and offense, which is something that is not a lot of teams can do. Salisu was brilliant during the game. He made that one mistake, but again, Daniel James didn't finish. But apart from this, Leeds had nothing, to be honest. They
I,
had no
you know,
chance.
I do want to give Leeds a little bit of a break. To be fair, they were missing four of their best players, all out because of injury, right? I mean, your holding mid's gone, Bamford's gone, your starting winger's gone, your Luke Ayling's gone as the right back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rafinha not being there.
Yeah, it made a lot of difference as
You
well.
know what I
And
mean? And then you don't have Calvin Phillips in the middle, and you're just absolutely just stuck. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so they're playing with their secondary line against the Southampton, and you know if they're a good enough team, they should be able to win on the day, maybe. But Southampton was just better the entire game.
it's a first win for them. It's very good that they picked up the win, to be honest. Now it's Burnley, Newcastle, and Norwich without wins.
Yeah,
The last game that was played was Norwich, Brighton. I think the game had chances, but Brighton, I think Brighton created more chances. They had
hmm,
most of the ball. They, I think they wanted to win the game more. Uh, so Norwich had chances during this game, right?
yeah,
They
yeah,
just did not have the finishing touch to be able to finish their goals, like which is something that I think Timo Pukki was supposed to be the guy that does this for them, but he
yeah.
is not doing it enough.
Hmm.
And this is kind of something that if they don't pick up points soon, it's winning is a habit, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna like be just not there. They're gonna be like, they're gonna lose every game. They're gonna go to the games with a losing mentality. What do you think?
I think I'm shocked that Brighton dropped points against Norwich. I'm going to be honest, but I think it just shows the problem they have, to where they're pretty routinely the better team on the day, and then they just don't get points, right? Like, I mean, splitting a point, that's fine, but against Norwich, you really can't be. And I think that's a problem that Brighton has. I think Norwich, I mean, at least I think you're thrilled if you're Norwich that you got away with a point here. I mean, they played well. Maybe they could have gotten more, but you start building up on top of this, right? It's like, okay, we got our first point. What can we do next? Like, where do we go from here? You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially against a team that's been in incredible form this season.
So now it's very strange to say this, but next week we have the third against fourth, ManCity against Brighton. It's very strange to say it, but it is happening.
Yeah.
It's absolutely happening. But Brighton are going to be fine.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to make top 6. They're going to finish top half of the table, but I don't think they're going to make top 6 or something. I know people got excited, but they don't score enough goals. Their defense is okay.
They don't have Bissouma
I don't think it's enough. Hey, today, Monday, Arsenal, Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
I want to give you the floor to tell me. If you win this game, you're going to be ahead of Brentford. You're going to have 13 points, and you're going to be right behind Everton, 1 point behind the guys.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is a must-win game. I think Crystal Palace has been showing cracks all season. I think if this is the team that we need to beat. I think they've done Crystal Palace has done a lot of exciting stuff. I think there's every possibility that they come here and are dangerous. I mean, they have been, especially with guys like Gallagher, you know what I mean, especially with Zaha, of course. So they've shown that they can be dangerous offensively, but I think if Arsenal is able to capitalize on the defensive mistakes that Crystal Palace will make, it should be a pretty set win on the day. But Patrick Vieira is a good manager, man, and I think he can make something happen. So I think there is room to be nervous, but I think Arsenal should be winning this.
Yeah, it's on paper they should be winning this.
Yeah.
So next week we have supposedly the biggest game in the history of English football, Man United Liverpool. I think this game might decide Ole's future. In my opinion, if it was me, it would have been this game. If they lose the game and they do not play good, I think Ole should go, because now they are drifting away from the top. Who's favorite? I think Liverpool. Without a question. What do you think?
Yeah. No, it's Liverpool. I mean, no question.
No question here, right? Like, I think this game, if Liverpool win this game, they pick up really, really good 3 points to stay in the tail of Chelsea. But I think Man United, if they lose this game, they have to stop and rethink this whole project with Ole, because I know it's Liverpool, but you're not supposed to play bad, because they played bad. They didn't play great against Leicester, and they have been dropping points. And to me, I don't know what Man United are doing. I don't know the plan, in my opinion. That's just, every time I see them, I don't know the plan.
I don't think Ole knows the plan.
I'm sure he has a plan, Kaeman. I'm sure he has a plan.
The past few games, I haven't been convinced.
Yeah. Okay. Another game that is absolutely very important. It's West Ham against Tottenham.
Yeah.
Tottenham are ahead of West Ham, Man United, Everton. So Tottenham in no crisis. No crisis.
Which is hilarious, because what was it last week? Everyone was like, "Oh, is Tottenham in crisis?" It shows how fickle everyone can be about a run of bad games, right?
But in the top half of the table, Kaeman, in the top, Tottenham are the only team with negative goal differential.
But they're still in the top half of the table, right?
They're 5th.
Yeah.
Tied point with 4th.
Yeah.
This is.
The league has been crazy
this year.
The
right?
league has been absolutely crazy this year.
Yes, especially below like the top three, it is crazy. Brighton, of
Yeah.
course, we're thinking Man United are going to be there. Now Tottenham are going to be in crisis. Tottenham are ahead of Man United.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very Brentford, who absolutely everybody tipped him to drop, are in ninth position.
Mhm.
Wolves are in 10th. Leicester, who everybody thought they're going to be in top, challenging for top four, in 11th place. It's kind of strange, right? Like,
Yeah. It's bonkers. I mean, I think the league will kind of sort itself out into the typical way that we think things are going to be finishing, and I think a lot of the predictions have been pretty good. But yeah, for right now, it's the Wild West out there.
Do predictions? What predictions? Predictions are out of the door. Brentford 9th, Wolves in like 10th, Tottenham ahead of Man United. What predictions? Nobody had any good predictions here.
I mean, towards the end of the season, I think we're going to see it settled out with the kind of typical top four.
We'll see, but
top
as
six,
of now,
seven.
it doesn't look like it. It looks like
Yeah,
every
it's the Wild
single
West right
person-
now. No, it's the Wild West for sure.
Yes, it looks like every single person that had predictions are like they got it wrong, but we'll see at the end of the season. But anyway, guys, make sure to like the video or rate us on any podcast platform if you listen to this as an audio. Make sure to follow our channel on YouTube, Football Worldwide. You'll find a link tree for all our platforms. We have a lot of shows. Every day there's something for you. Weekly catch up with Bruno and Jonathan, Serie A Roundtable with Anthony, the Conversation Starters. It's a lot of shows happening for us, and we're always trying to bring the content for you guys, and we're always trying to do our best. I want to thank my co-host Kaeman. Thank you for coming, my friend.
No worries, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure to talk to you, and thank you all for listening, and thank you for watching, and hope to see you next week.
Take care, everyone.